Chapter 5 I, Kensuke. He was an old, short and skinny man who wore tattered clothes and had a large knife in his belt. "Dameda, Dameda," he screeched angrily at me. I was about to run, but Stella bounded towards him. She seemed to like the man. He continued, "No good. Fire, no good. You understand? No fire." I tried to explain that I had lit the fire in the hope that my parents would see it and come to rescue me, but he didn't understand. The man used his stick to draw a map of the island in the sand. He drew a line down the middle. Pointing to one side of the map, he said, "You boy, you here." Then he wrote something in strange letters on the other side. "Kensuke, I, Kensuke, my island," he continued, tapping his chest. I understood that he had split the island in two, and I was now only to be allowed on one half of it. The old man went off, and for the rest of the day I stayed in my cave. I was confused. It must have been Kensuke who had left me the food and water, but he didn't seem very friendly. I had to get off the island, but without fire, how could I catch the attention of passing ships? I was stuck. I wondered how long Kensuke had been on the island and why he was there. Who was he? And why had he insisted on putting out my fire? I still had the glass I had made to make the fire. I decided that I would build my fire again and survive on my own without Kensuke's help until I was rescued. The next day, I found that Kensuke had again left food and water for me and Stella. The man was clearly willing to keep me alive, as long as I didn't light fires and stayed on my half of the island. I realized that, for now at least, I had to follow his rules. I couldn't find any fresh water. I couldn't catch any fish on my own. I found the occasional bit of fruit, but not enough to survive on. From the hill on my half of the island, I occasionally saw Kensuke spearfishing in the shallow water. Often he was with a group of orangutans, but he never spoke to me. Days and weeks passed. Kensuke continued to bring me fish, fruit, and water every night. Mosquitoes continued to bite me. I continued to sit up on the hill looking out for ships, but nothing ever came. When the sun was hot, I sheltered in my cave to avoid sunburn. Then I would go swimming in the sea and play with Stella, throwing sticks for her to catch. One day, I returned to my cave to find that Kensuke had left me a sheet. He must have seen me scratching my mosquito bites and given me the sheet to help me protect myself. Did this mean that he had forgiven me for lighting the fire? I wanted to see him again, but he always kept to his half of the island. The next morning, I looked up and saw a ship on the horizon. It was a massive supertanker.